it's almost November now, they've began to announce the lineup for this year's AFI Fest, going from November 9th to November 16th, Thursday to Thursday that week. And the lineup's been pretty good. There's some disappointments. I wish there were some movies on there, and I'll talk about that. But what I'm going to do for this video is talk about the do's and don'ts of going to a festival like this, like picking movies you're going to see, making sure you really know the schedule, how to get in line at the right time, getting tickets the right way, just stuff like that. You know, after going last year, I feel like I could give some decent advice on the topic like that. So there we go. The first thing you need to really worry about is ticketing. Now, I don't know the website that they're doing this year, but when I do get the link to it, I'll put the link in the description below. So tickets are free for AFI Fest, and that sounds great, but it's really hard to get tickets. And you need to be on the website at the time they open up the ticket sales, and they only give out a certain amount at certain times. They open it up multiple times during different days, from November 1st to I think November 4th or 5th, when they actually let people start to go pick up tickets and stuff. And it's a really cutthroat and brutal process to get tickets, especially for gala screenings. So here's the different categories for AFI Fest screenings. There's galas, which are the really, really big, popular screenings that are for really special films this year. Then there's special screenings, which is not quite gala, but they're still really big name movies in the independent scene, and they're easier to get tickets to than galas, but they're not quite as hard. Then there's World Cinema, which is all the foreign films that are going to be airing at the festival, and those are relatively easy to get tickets. And then there's New Auteurs, American Independents, midnight screenings, which are kind of more horror themed, the kids section, short films, and then of course, you know, there's different categories for each year. There's the Cinema's Legacy section, which is more classic films. Last year they screened an anniversary edition of Citizen Kane, 75th anniversary. This year was perfect to do Casablanca, but they decided not to. So I'm a little pissed about that. But for the most part, the lineup is good. And in order to get tickets, you go online, you put all the tickets for movies that you want to get tickets for into a little Dropbox or a shopping cart. And then once the tickets for those opened up, you check all of them, and then you get the tickets. Now, at first, if you don't get tickets for a movie, don't freak out. What they do is they set a specific amount of tickets for a specific window of time. They don't sell all the tickets at once. That would be awful. And for gala screenings, there's only one showing, so the tickets are really limited, and those are really hard to get. But last year, two big gala screenings were La La Land and Jackie, and we got tickets to those, and we could only get into one of them, La La Land, thankfully. I mean, Jackie was really good, but still. The thing about gala screenings is you have to wait in line for a long time in order to get in. You need to get there early. For La La Land, we got there 5 hours early, and we barely made it in, because what happens is they divide it into two lines. There's lines for people who got tickets on the freeway to do it, and then there's the people who got those $400 passes that you can get, so that just gets you seats into anything. And they let those people in first, and we were about like 20 people back in the normal line. I was with three other people, three of my friends that I went with that year, and we were, after my friend Arslan, there was one more person allowed in, and they just cut it off from there. So we barely made it in. It was crazy stressful that year. And that was a learning experience, because if we want to go to galas, number one, we're going to have to worry about what we do see the same day. We were supposed to see It's Only the End of the World the same day as La La Land, but because the time for that film was at 4 and it got out at 6, La La Land started at 7, that means we wouldn't have been able to get in line until an hour before the showing, which would not have worked at all. We wouldn't have even been able to get in. So if you're going to go to a gala screening, it's a stressful process, but if you get in, it's really worth it. They put you in the TCL Chinese Theater. It's amazing. However, sometimes if it's so jam-packed for this one movie, I'm assuming this year that's going to be Call Me By Your Name, they're going to bump you into one of the multiplexes for the Chinese Theater, which is what happened for us when we saw La La Land. They let everybody into the main TCL Chinese Theater, and then they put us in one of the spare ones, which it didn't sour the experience at all. I'm just saying that's been happening. So for special screenings, typically you want to get in line between an hour and an hour and a half early. And that's because if you get in line at the last minute, even if you do get in, you're not going to get a good seat at all. You're either going to be in the very, very front or the way, way back, which in the multiplex for the TCL Chinese Theater, it's not great seats. But for the Egyptian, it's a big enough theater, you'll be fine. Those are the venues, by the way, the TCL Chinese Theater and the Egyptian Theater. There's like one more theater, but they rarely use it for anything, except like the Cine Lounge, which is for those people who get the premium passes. Now, if you are going to do it for free and you really want to save money, go for it. It's going to be kind of hard to get tickets, but if you're really dedicated to doing it, it'll be done. What I'm doing this year is I signed up for an AFI membership, which for the membership, it's $60 a year, and you get good benefits, good stuff like that. They send you emails about potential stuff, and you get a CinePass, which it doesn't get you into Gala screenings like those $400 ones do, but it gets you into the majority of other screenings, like the special screenings or the World Cinema screenings or stuff like that. I'm going to get extra tickets for each of those in case one of my friends wants to go to one, but, you know, that's just a precautionary measure. Now, the thing about parking is another one. There's parking lots all over Hollywood, around Hollywood Boulevard or wherever your theater that you're seeing the film at is going to be. And the parking is going to be a little bit pricey because they know the festival's happening and they know that Hollywood is going to be jam-packed with people. And you're just going to want to get there as early as you possibly can so that way you can get a good spot. I'm planning on getting there at I'm planning on seeing more movies than I did last year. I only saw 4 movies last year. This year I'm planning on seeing like 12 or 13, depending on what the times are like for each screening. So it all depends on what day you're going, what film you're going for, what the popularity level is, and just how many people decide to show up. And it's funny because Jackie, we stood in line for about 30-40 minutes. We had to go, the line had like wrapped around a building a couple times and we had to go all the way back because somebody directed us to the wrong line. Speaking of which, don't trust the security people. If you ask a security person for directions, they will put you in the wrong spot. That's guaranteed to happen. We waited outside of the wrong place for the Jackie line for about 30 minutes, and that was basically what made it so we didn't get in. Also, if you are planning on like a movie that you're kind of on whether or not you do want to see, make sure it's a movie that's worth taking a chance for, or make sure that movie is scheduled at a time of day that will not conflict with another screening you want to go to. For example, our day for that Tuesday of the festival, we were supposed to be seeing Neruda and Jackie. We thought, okay, I thought, it was my stupid ass idea. I thought that, okay, we're seeing 2 films by Pablo Larraín, that'd be cool, right? So we get to the Chinese multiplex, we see Neruda, and we're like, okay, we got 2 hours before Jackie starts. This is just us not understanding how the Gala screenings worked yet. We decided, okay, we'll go to CPK, we'll get some food. We get in line, and the line for Jackie had already gone all the way over past the past the theater. It wasn't great, and we were fairly disappointed that night, and that's why we skipped It's Only the End of the World before La La Land, because we didn't want that to happen again. So you live, you learn. You learn these kinds of things at film festivals like that. Be ready to not get into every single film you get tickets for, because tickets do not guarantee you a spot in the theater. It's first come, first serve, even if you have a ticket. That's just your way of possibly getting in. You need to be as far in the front of the line as possible just to get into the theaters. Usually special screenings or World Cinema screenings or even midnight screenings, they're not too packed. Like an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours early would suffice for getting a decent seat. You want to get the perfect seat maybe 3 hours early. But for Gala screenings, the screening for La La Land started at 7 o'clock in the evening. We were in line since 2:15 in the afternoon, and we still barely got in. So that just tells you how popular that screening was. For Jackie, the line I don't believe was as long, but we still didn't get in because we got there just like an hour early, half an hour early. So if you're gonna go to a gala screening, probably make the other movies you're seeing that day way earlier in the morning, because people are gonna start lining up the break of dawn. That's just how lines are at those festivals, and you need to really manage your priorities for this kind of stuff. Also, because you're in Hollywood Boulevard, there's a little shopping center right where the Chinese theater is. It's got all the best picture winners through the years on the wall. It's a really cool place. There's a lot of great stuff to do while you're in town for the festival. Now, I'll get to the lineup of movies that I'm seeing. For the gala screenings that are being presented, they're opening the festival with Mudbound, and also they have Call Me By Your Name, which is the big one, and I'm considering trying to get tickets, but I'm not too hopeful, because the movie comes out the weekend after the festival anyway, so it's fine if I don't even see it there. It's whatever. It's a gala screening, so it's going to be super popular. It's not like with La La Land where you have to wait a month after AFI Fest just to have a chance of seeing it. And then there's Hostiles, the new Scott Cooper film starring Christian Bale, which just got a theatrical release announcement for December 22nd, which is going to be a big weekend for indies, so it's probably not going to do very well, unfortunately. I'm going to try and see it, which would be great. And then, of course, there's The Disaster Artist, the James Franco directed and starred movie about Tommy Wiseau. And that's a gala I'm definitely going to try and get tickets to. And then we have Wormwood, which is this year's Tribute screening to Errol Morris, who is a great documentary filmmaker. If you haven't seen any of his movies, ones I would recommend to start out with are Tabloid and The Fog of War, the story of Robert McNamara. Great movies, check them out. Wormwood is going to Netflix, so I'm going to miss that one, same with Mudbound. And closing the festival is going to be Ridley Scott's film, All the Money in the World, which is set to come out December 1st. 2 weeks after the festival, I'm fine. I don't need to see it. And then for the special screenings, they have Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool, Jim and Andy, that Jim Carrey, Andy Kaufman documentary, The Shape of Water, the new Guillermo del Toro film, Molly's Game, Aaron Sorkin's new movie based on the life of Molly Bloom, I, Tonya, the Margot Robbie film that's been getting a lot of Oscar buzz. It's about Tonya Harding, the famous ice skater who beat the shit out of one of her opponents, so can't wait to hear how that happened. And then there's a Sammy Davis Jr. documentary and The Leisure Seeker starring Donald Sutherland and Helen Mirren. Not really too interested in that. I don't even know why it's being screened there. Then for World Cinema, there's so many movies, but I'm just going to announce the ones that I want to see, which are Happy End, the new Michelle Haneke film. And I just can't wait for that because I love Michelle Haneke stuff. Loveless, the new Andres Zvias. He's got a long last name that starts with a Z. He's a Russian guy. He did Leviathan. Loveless is his new film. I can't wait for it. Then there's Foxtrot, which is, I think, Israeli. It's about an Israeli task force. Can't wait to see that. That looks really interesting. What else is on here? Fantastic Woman. I think it's Chilean film. And then there's the American Independents that I'm going to try and see, which are the movies Bodied, Gemini, and Thoroughbreds. Thoroughbreds was at Sundance, Gemini was at South by Southwest, and Bodied was at Toronto Film Fest. They're all relatively smaller releases. I think that a couple of them are with Neon. I don't even know. But I'm excited to see all of them. If you have money pouring out of your pockets and you really want to get in, maybe get one of those $400 passes. You'd have a better chance of getting in than most people do. But if you want to save up money, do the free tickets. Or if you really, really want to get into most screenings, but you're worried about not getting in, do the $60 membership. I can see it being worth it. If it ends up being kind of a fluke, I will do another video about it. But thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing. Someone tries to sell you their mixtape, just say no. It's okay to say no.
Watch out!